Good to Great with Ali Naimi, only on Pulse 95. Good to Great with Ali Naimi.
So imagine our lives without art, without beautiful paintings, colors, and imaginative ideas. I really don't think we can live without art, and therefore we should appreciate it more. Art opens the heart and mind to possibilities and fuels the imagination. Art is a process of learning to create ourselves and experience the world in new ways. Art definitely keeps the magic alive. Stay tuned with us on Good to Great. We are hosting an amazing Emirati artist from Sharjah who owns his own beautiful art workshop. Do not go anywhere because we will be talking about the beauty of art right here on Pulse 95. Thank you so much for accepting the interview, Mr. Nasir. We're really happy to have you on Good to Great.
You're most welcome, and it's my pleasure to do this interview with you, Alia.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Nasir, let me start with asking you a question that I typically always ask all of my interviewees. Could you possibly introduce yourself for us and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Nasir Nasrallah. I am an Emirati artist and I'm based in Sharjah. I work with different mediums, especially focusing on old communication methods and devices like telephones, typewriters, letter writings. I want to bring them back these days in an art format.
That's amazing. Quite interesting, to be honest. It's very unique. So let's ask about your starting point. So what were your starting points and how did you start in art?
So during my study in telecommunication engineering at Khalifa University, back then it used to call it Eتصالات University in early 2000s, I've noticed that I need to take care more of my creative side. Because engineering is a bit like very tough and very physics, mathematics, and these things. So
you wanted to go on more of an artistic side?
Yes, because at school we used to do a lot of activities that I can take out my creativity, like this creative part of me. So then I wanted to do something like different this time. At that time. So I decided to take art courses at Emirates Fine Arts Society. And then I continued to teach myself by making more artworks, experimenting with different materials and methods.
So did you have something about art since you were a child?
I was a bit different, that I'm more interested in making magazines, like a family magazine about family members, making fun of some of my family, and doing caricatures, this kind of visual creative things.
And it's still considered art, though.
Yes, at that time I didn't know that I want to be an artist. I used to think I might be a doctor or maybe
an engineer.
An engineer, yeah. I didn't have this clear vision, So during my study as an engineer, I think I figured out that I want to be an artist.
You realize that engineering is not your field, or it's not something you actually want to keep doing for the rest of your life.
Exactly. So when you try something and it's not for you, so that's what happened with me.
Very interesting, because I know one person that I know that have talked to me before, and they wanted to be an engineer. And what they told me is that they spent 4 years of their lives trying to succeed and graduate to be an engineer. And then after 4 years of extensive and thorough study and hard work, that person realized that, no, engineering is just not my field. I need to go for media, which is part of life, to be honest. I have to say it's part of life. Probably might not know the right decision only until after some time, but you still learn in the process.
Exactly, and at that age, it's as you said, it's not easy to know what you want at that time.
Absolutely.
So you have to try and experiment and try and experiment again, and it's never too late to do what you love.
So why are you interested in art?
why I am interested in art. So I think all artists might agree with me that art practice is very necessary for the artists, and it's a way to express themselves and their thoughts. As like a writer, he needs to write. You know, he wants to deliver like a message, or it's his way of.
Through art.
Yes, through art. So it's I think it's a need. It's something necessary for the artist.
Absolutely.
I can't like sit for a long time without doing any art, even for myself.
I mean, also for us, not yet. We're not artists, but also for us. I mean, imagine if you see a book with no pictures, or no art, or you walk around the corridors and there are just no hanged pictures of beautiful art. So art is absolutely a need. All right, so we will be back after a quick break with Mr. Nasser to ask him more questions about art, and we will have more interesting talk right here on Good to Great. So stay tuned with us right here on Pulse 95. Okay, so Mr. Nasser, you have your own studio, and it's called Studio on the Coast. Right, so it's a workshop or a studio?
It's a studio space, and in Arabic it's called Marsam al-Sahel, which means the studio on the coast. And because it's located close to the Sharjah beach, so that's why we decided to call it Marsam al-Sahel, because al-Sahel, which means the coast, is a very, I think it's a very old word which is not used these days. And I know that Sharjah radio, the old one in Sharjah, it's called Sawt al-Sahel, sound of the coast, yes. So I wanted to bring the word back, you know, because it's very related to the area, to the region. Yeah, and as I said, because it's also located close to the coast, so it's Marsam al-Sahel. It's a studio space that I founded with a group of artists in 2019. And occasionally we go there and have art critiques, we do book readings, and we do some discussions about art and studio practice.
That's very nice. All right, so anyone can join you? Anyone who's interested in art, or children, who can join you in the studio on the coast?
Yes. So it's a small studio space. We are 5 members there. Every member has their own space, so it's a working space, basically. Yeah.
That's very nice. So I love how everything is just brought here in Sharjah, and it's just beautifully. How can I put this? Like, people here in Sharjah, they love to bring out the art. They love to bring out the culture, and everything is just so beautiful in Sharjah. Don't you agree?
Yes, as you said, and I think we are lucky to have this identity. It's very well known for Sharjah as a cultural and artistic place, and yeah.
That's really, I do agree. You're Sharjah based, Mr. Nasser?
Yes, I'm Sharjah based, and I'm proud.
Me too. I'm Sharjah based, so we're hardcore Sharjah people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So
I wanted to add about Marsam al-Sahel, and the idea behind it was to have this space that artists can be with other artists, so they encourage each other, and to do this kind of conversation, you know, and it's important to have your own space as an artist, and for me, I like it to be like with other artists, so we can start these kind of conversations. Because I told you that I started with the Emirati Fine Art Society, and we had this chance to meet artists there.
Yes,
yeah, after the courses.
Very therapeutic, though.
Yeah, and you can open these topics about like conceptual arts, traditional art, and we share our experiences together.
And
so
we blend in as a group. We share the same interest.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the challenges that you've had. So what were the challenges you had, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, so the most big challenge I had is changing my career from engineering to art. In 2011, I quit my job as an engineer to focus on my art career and to see what is the best for me. So I just wanted this time to figure out, am I really want to continue working as an engineer, or I have to go in the art direction? Because still people think art is a hobby.
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah.
Because art can be everything.
Yeah.
It could be your own career.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening to you right now, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So I take like 1 year off. I was like full-time artist back then. I've participated in many exhibitions. I did an art residency program. So then I figured out that yes, art is my thing. I have to continue doing art. So I've joined the Sharjah Art Foundation after that, and I work in the learning and research department.
Amazing. Amazing. No regrets, Mr. Nasser. No regrets.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the most right thing I did in my life. Yeah.
I'm glad that you think that way. Okay, so no mistakes. No mistakes that you've done along the way?
I can't think of any mistakes, to be honest.
So we didn't call them like mistakes or regrets that you probably might, like for example, let's say that you've left engineering and then you thought, oh no, maybe I've done something wrong doing that.
No, at all. It's like I've never regret that, and I think yes, I was very courageous to decide, and to take that step, and I think even like my character changed after this decision. Yeah,
that's amazing, because mostly people tend to not step out of their comfort zone, embrace change, let's say. So that's quite difficult to do. Very interesting, Mr. Nasser. All right, so we will be back with Mr. Nasser after a quick break to ask him more questions, last questions. We won't keep you hanging here with us, Mr. Nasser, although the talk is lovely, to be honest. All right, so let's see what Mr. Nasser has in store for us after the break, right here on Pulse 95. Mr. Nasser, let's talk about your habits and daily routines that you think that have caused you to be what you are or led you to be that successful.
I think, and I believe in every field, to be success, you have to have a daily routine, exercises, daily routine practice. So for me, I write and I draw every day, and I have my journal and sketchbook. I'm taking it with me every day, everywhere. It's in my bag. So yeah, so whatever comes in my mind, I don't keep my hands.
Keep your thoughts in your head. You have to just lay them out on a piece of paper.
Yeah, otherwise my head will be exploded.
We're talking to an artist.
Yes. Yes. So this is definitely helps me to improve like the ideas and to seek for more subjects, to do more artworks, to sketch, start some sketching. The sketches can go to bigger projects. And also, I push myself to go to the studio 3 times at least a week, even if I'll go and do nothing, but I have to go.
To get the feel of it.
Yes.
And just get the habit going.
Exactly.
The habit.
So yeah, because now I have my day job, and this is something I have to do after my work.
But you still do practice art in Sharjah Art Foundation, don't you?
It's different. It's not practicing art. So in learning and research department, we organize workshops, courses for the community, for adults, children. So it's more like designing workshops based on the exhibitions we have. It's not something that related to my personal art practice.
The practical aspect of it is done in your own studio.
Exactly. Yeah, it's something else. So I have to push myself to remind myself that this is something very serious, and I have to work on it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Mr. Nasser. All right, let me ask you some really difficult question, because that question, most of my interviews don't like that question, but I still do have to ask that one. Okay, so whom were your enemies that you faced along the way in your journey of becoming an artist? Did you have any enemies or people who disappointed you and told you you cannot be an artist, or you will fail? Art is just a hobby, just like what you said, because most people do think that art is just a hobby when it's not. So whom were the people?
So maybe enemy is a very strong word.
Let's say frenemies.
Yeah. So like, alhamdulillah, I don't have enemies, but disappointments, and maybe through these questions I want to make an awareness about people who don't appreciate art and they don't respect artists' time and effort. So they think this is, as you said, this is like an hobby, or please make me this drawing for free, or they ask you for like things that doesn't relate it to art, that like, I don't know, like something like photo editing. They said, "Oh, you are an artist, you can do this one." No, it's something totally different. Yeah. There is still people like this. So I think these people are annoying for artists.
I would say.
Yeah. And every artist, I believe they have these kind of stories, and something happened to them with those people.
All of your fellow artists can relate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I can relate though.
Yeah.
I'm not an artist, but I can relate. It's quite annoying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So yeah, and I hope like people get more education about art and art schools, and to respect all
art more,
this.
or
Yeah.
give more appreciation to art. Let's say, what happened to Leonardo da Vinci and what happened to Salvador Dali?
Yeah.
So all of them were appreciated. All of them were respected because art had more, let's say, more attention. But nowadays, because there's a technology and the computers and the printing, like if you do a piece of art, you can just print it everywhere and just duplicate that piece of art. So you feel like art did lose its value, we can say.
It's not losing the value. It's just like you need more education about awareness and education. Yeah, yeah. So this is something has been improved, like from last 20 years. But yeah, people needs more.
Shout out to Sharjah Art Foundation. They're doing a great job to preserve art. So I think, and you guys are amazing. I mean, to have Emirati, Sharjah-based, pure Sharjah hardcore artists, that's something really nice. So and this proves that everyone is just working hard to preserve art, whether in Sharjah or in the UAE, and we're really proud about that. All right, so who's your favorite artist, may I ask?
Okay, so I don't have like a favorite artist, but I have people around me or artists that I get inspired by them. So first on the list is my grandfather, Mohammed Nasser. He's the first antique shop owner in Sharjah. It's called Gulf Antiques. It's in Souq Al Arsa. Yes, he's an antique collector since 1963, I guess. And he used to travel a lot to get these antiques from different countries, and each piece has its own story, and he can tell you. Yeah, so I'm very lucky to be his grandson, because this helped me to appreciate art and appreciate the story behind like these objects. Yeah, So I grew up around antiques and his private collections. Also, my father has his his house can be like a small museum.
So it runs in the family.
It runs in the family. Yeah. I took a bit
more of a diverted, but it's still kind of art, because I can still refer to antiques as art as well.
Yes, yeah, because each piece it has its own shape, its own story. You can do you can write books about if you have your own collection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nasir. It was a pleasure having you on Good to Great. I really, really did enjoy this interview. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed that too. Thank you so much, Alia.
Thank you so much. Emirati artist and founder of Marsam Al-Sahil, Nasir Nasrallah, was hosted with us today on Good to Great, and he explained to us how important is art and how it gives us a meaning in life. 4215 is our SMS text number, and we will be thrilled to receive your comments and thoughts on today's episode. Our weekly show Good to Great always has a great story to tell, and it definitely needs to have great listeners like you guys. Until next week, stay safe, happy, and always on Pulse 95.